Hey guys, this is Alex from 4C Trading, and today I'm gonna do a little bit of a video on Cardano ADA BTC. And yes, currently I'm still waiting for Bitcoin if it's gonna hit one of our profit takes on the short. It did do a very nice reaction, and you know, if it does hit one profit take, which is currently does look like it's gonna do a little bit of a pullback, it's nothing major really, because you're not really gonna lose anything major on a big time frame area just yet. You know, we can't predict that one. So it's not anything, it's not like we are taking profits on anything drastic. But what I'm seeing is that we will most likely lose a little bit of a level, or should I say one level, on Bitcoin dominance, right? And thus, you know, if we do kind of lose that level on Bitcoin dominance, it would be pretty good if we start looking in some of this Bitcoin pairing charts, right? Like Cardano. You know, Cardano was really strong. It is still a really strong chart, and you can see it already pumped for like 100%. We had a trade somewhere down here, and you know, right now we just want to capitalize on that and continue with its course, right? So we have today, what I'm seeing today actually, we have a one high time frame trade and we have one low time frame trade, right? So obviously I will be showing them both, but firstly we can jump in and start with the high time frame one, due to the fact that it's just overall a much safer trade to begin with, right? So right off the bat, we had area previously down here. The area was located a little bit lower than this, and yes, this time around I will be moving area higher, right? Because area that we used before was already tested by now, and this one is the new untested area. And even though I am moving this area a little bit higher, if I still scroll out, you can see that it still very much matches the left side. And we can do this by seeing that it actually reacted already from the downside, right? Came back, reacted from the downside again, came back, reacted from the downside, and then once it finally popped over it, once you finally drained all the liquidity and you had the power to pop over it, you reacted from the other side as well. So you can still see that this area is quite much a very important one, even though it's not the one that we used before. Now we can simply go in and kind of, you know, base a trade off of it, right? So right off, if we do take the trade right on down the middle of this area like we usually do, split our buys from top to the bottom, right? We will see one thing actually coming through here, and this one is the stop loss is most likely going to be a little bit fatter than what we expect, which in most cases it is fine, because you know we are going to be expecting higher profit takes, and this will be no exception. We are, as we are seeing from this chart right now, from the accumulation phase that we are currently doing, right? You can see the higher type profit takes are gonna be in order, right? So firstly, what gives us ideas that we can go even chase this higher profit takes? But it's quite easy, right? We did create a newer low here, right? Once we start closing underneath this area. But what we did afterwards, right? We have to break this left side. And you can see that we tried to break this left side on the first try, and this was actually the first rejection point, which then reacted from our main area from the other side, right? And after that good, healthy reaction, we managed to close above it, right? We managed to close above this area and thus doing really good. And then on the way down, we did something that we already shown in the Bitcoin BitShares video last night. We actually held the previous low, right? And we didn't make a new low. And this is a really good pattern when it comes to crypto, right? So now we held this previous low and we managed to bounce off it, right? So now you have some of the chances that this long time frame trade won't be filled, because you know our area is in this case a little bit deeper, but it's still technically untested area, right? So that's why we're gonna do two trades. We're gonna do a lower time frame one and one higher time frame one, right? But the logic now still stands, right? We did hold the previous low. We haven't created a new low, and we did create a newer high. So now we have chances of actually going for a little bit higher, and we can basically take a gamble on higher profit takes, right? And the first profit take, is going to be located right on top right here. As you can see, it's going to be located right on top, and it already is a pretty weight. I'm gonna take it right down the middle, because this one we can go right down to the resistance. And yes, as you can see, it's pretty juicy run already. As you can see, our entry is 600 satoshi, 660, right? The stop loss is 540 satoshis, right? And the first profit take is 920 satoshis. So that does bring you to 39% or 2.12 R. So you can see it is a pretty good first profit take to begin with, right? Then on the second take, you have couple of options, right? So basically we could be focusing on this area here and do a little profit take a little bit under, but this time around, due to the fact that we are currently in a little bit of a bull market state, I'm going to go with more of a recent area, and I'm going to be taking it all the way up here. And most likely here I'm going to do another line here. That would be my profit take to begin with in that box, but you can, by no means necessary, you can always stretch it if you want to, right? I'm just going to be taking mines as a little bit safer option, as you already know that I like to do that. And again, it's a 94% or 5.16 R, right? So the first profit take, if we manage to hold this area down here, which is, you know, which is what I'm really expecting to at this point, since the price action what we did in the past, we're most definitely gonna be hitting the first profit take. The second profit take, it can happen that you get met with something like this, a week like this, or week like that, or something like here, and we manage to miss it. That will be a sad thing indeed, but in that case we will be having to follow it with the stop loss, you know, because there is a large gap between the first and the second profit take. It is about 30%, so it wouldn't be want to be leaving that much money on the bank. And now again, obviously we will have opportunities to refill the trades, right? Like we always possibly do, but I can't ignore the third profit take in this certain chart, because as you can see, if I zoom out, right, this is gonna be one of the mainest areas on the entire chart, and this is what I'm actually aiming for to begin with on Cardano to be hit in the future, right? This is my old pinnacle of what I want to be seeing, and something like this, right? Something like exactly what we did here, hit it exactly perfectly and then crash down. And even though we did create a newer low once we did that, right, and now we have lesser chance of doing it, if we can regain this profit take right here, or we can hit this profit take and then manage to hold this one down the low, we are most likely gonna hit this area again. And you know, even if we did this, it's not just, you know, from the point of perspective of having a pure price action, but it's like, if you think about it, you know, the chart will really look nice if we did something like this, right? So you can see right now that this is actually a proper accumulation chart if we manage to finish it like that, and this definitely does look a lot more juicy than what we currently have, right? I mean, it would look like a very beautiful chart. It would look like, as at the end of the day, a piece of art, as you would like to mention, right? So yes, the last profit take would then be at 1.7k satoshis, 169% or 9.2 R, right? So yeah, the trade would turn out to be very great indeed. And again, all of the prices, guys, can be seen on the right side, right? Or that's why I'm just now, because I'm not sure, you know, people remind me constantly, right, that they can't see prices, or then I'm not calling out prices, right? But all of them are seen to the right side of the chart, as you can see, right? I'm going to point out again. Yes, all of them can be seen here, and actually I'm trying to read them as if right now from at every video that I actually record, right? So yes, now I'm going to be deleting all of that I currently did, and I'm going to go down to a lower time frame to try and capture a trade there. And you can really see that this lower time frame trade is gonna be unsafe, right? This lower time trade is going to be quite unsafe, but there's only one area that we can actually pursue this one, right? So at the moment, the best way to approach this trade would be for you to wait for it to close above here, right? So what you want to see is to wait for the trade to close above here to kind of create that new high that we just spoke of, right? Once, if that does indeed happen, your new hunting ground for that trade is gonna be right below here. Now, the only way why I do like to take trades like this, and the way, like, why I even go out and out of my ways to risk to sometimes take a scalp like this, to be honest, right? I mean, it is because the stop losses are usually pretty good. And look at this, right? I'm not even joking. Look at this. The stop loss for this trade is 3%. And if you look at it, if you already took in it here while it did something like this, right, I'm pretty sure the stop loss was exactly something similar to what we're looking at, right? That would be area. The stop loss is actually a little bit fatter, 4%, but still a pretty much insane stop loss, and immediately got reaction of 7%, 0.6. So it almost immediately had 2R trade right there, right? So yeah, it is sometimes it really does pay off to take these kind of trades. But firstly, when I'm looking at a trade like this, you also have to remember that, yeah, you know, it has to go above this for this to be available. If it now rejects right here and goes straight down here, well, it's most likely not gonna be available to begin with, right? And you know, there is a reason, because I am recording this video approximately 12 hours before it gets uploaded. So most likely, if it's not gonna go above this area, it will just go down to my entry right now and crash through it, right? So yeah, so by the time this video comes out, it should be seen if this is gonna happen or if this is gonna be actually a lost trade to begin with, right? So yeah, right now, if we do take this trade, the first profit take exactly here. I mean, I'm just gonna take this one and stretch it over it. So yes, this is the area we have to gain above, and once we do gain above it, we go test it back. We take it right here at 850 satoshis, while our entry is 800 satoshis and our stop loss is 775 satoshis. So that brings us at 6.3% or almost 2R, exactly what we want to see. And then for the secondary profit take, yes, you guessed it, we're gonna be tagging along exactly in the same area that we have done on the higher time frames before. So we're gonna be having our first profit take right here. At 900 something, right? So it a little bit, I'm just gonna adjust a little bit right here, yeah. So at 920 satoshis, right, with 15% and 4.8 R, right? And with this trade again the same trades, the same profit takes are gonna be following as before, right? We're gonna be doing another one here, and obviously for the last one we're gonna be doing another one here, right? Oops, another one here. Here we go. Opa. Now let's zoom back in on a bit of a lower time frame, so it's going to be a little bit more visible. And yes, the first one, the second one being 1,200 satoshis is going to be at 50% or 15 hours. So you can really see how crazy this thing starts to get once you do get a hang of this lower time frame trade. And the last one being 126% at 39 hours, so basically a pretty insane trade at 1.8k satoshis. So yeah, I mean, basically speaking, when you're seeing these trades, low time frames, right, obviously a lot of these trades, when you're taking on long time frames, are gonna give you like a one profit take, and then most likely gonna go crash under, or sometimes they're gonna give you two profit takes, right? But there will be really rare amount of time where you're gonna be hitting a low time frame trade that's gonna do a whole trend, that's gonna, you know, flip the whole trend around. And yes, right now the Cardano is bullish, right? You're obviously trading with the trend because you're long in it, right? But you also have to think about it that there's a lot of mini trends, right? If you go down to 5 minutes or even 15 minutes, right, there's a lot of mini trends that happen between the larger trends, right? You can see, look at that. If you try to trade this on 15 minutes, that was a proper bear market, right? If you try to trade this was a proper bull market, right? So you have a lot of these mid trends happening during those low time frames, and you most likely will never, or should I say very rarely, you will hit the bottom on it, right? You will definitely, it will happen. If you practice, it will happen. You will be hitting bottoms at it, right? But, you know, if you do manage to get a trade like that with such a small loss, stop loss, and that's actually a trend mover, then obviously you're gonna make a lot of money, right? But yeah, when I'm mostly taking scalps like this, I am aiming for first or second profit take, right? Because even though first profit take, it is quite close, that's actually already 2%, right? Or should I say 6%. So, you know, I'm not really concerned because you are still making a lot of money by just doing that simplistic move, right? And it's gonna probably play out in a day, right? When once this is filled, it's probably most likely gonna be played in a day, so it most likely is gonna make some fast profits as well. But yeah, essentially speaking, we still wanted to retrace all the way down to our main area because that is the safest trade that we got right here, and those are the trades that usually work out 70% of the time, compared to these that work out less than 50% of time. So yeah, that's why I really do focus a lot more on higher time frames to begin with, right? So yes, guys, please do like the video, subscribe to our channel, right? Share your video around so that we know that you guys actually like this one, and make some comments down below as well, right? And also join us at 3-4C community channel where we discuss stuff like this, you know, stop losses, trades like this, or, you know, anything that really helps you in the path of becoming a trader in the future, right? And so though that I'm finishing this video up, the profit take for Bitcoin is almost hit already as well. So yeah, I guess we will be doing good one on that one as well. So yes, thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.